Let's take a peek into the crystal ball here. And just a guess. It's August 26th. Let's have a little bit of fun. What round do these players go in next year? 12-team leagues. And up first, Junior Caminero.
Caminero! Ha! Ha, Caminero!
He will not stop. 4 for 5 with 2 socks and a shoe, 2 homers, and a steal in this game. He has 4 home runs in his past 3 games. He is up to 39 homers. That is the most homers by an age 21 season, in an age 21 season by a Dominican-born player, breaking Albert Pujols' record of 37. So, I mean, just to give you an idea of some of the names, the history that is just being thrown out with what Caminero is doing right now, he's been incredible, Chris. The crystal ball. What round do you think he might wind up in next season?
Second or third? I think in like the Manny Machado, like where Manny Machado, Austin Riley, and Rafael Devers have been over the past like 3 or 4 seasons, which is always like 2-3 turn-ish. I think that's probably it. You're hoping for growth in batting average next season. He's been okay there, but not super impactful. Strikeout rate's not bad. It's 20%, so you can imagine some growth there. And obviously the power is super, super legit. So I think anywhere outside of the top 20 will probably be fine.
All right. Yeah, I think the second round for sure. I think it might be closer to like the 1-2 turn than the 2-3 turn, but
maybe.
You know, we're quibbling, and it's very early. Zack Neto, 2 for 4 with his 22nd home run. He's having his best power month yet. 7 homers, 541 slug in August. He's got 22 homers, 23 steals, 800 OPS. We were worried about the shoulder coming in, Chris, but obviously there are no concerns. He's now done this 2 years in a row. What do you think about Zack Neto? Where might he wind up next season?
Eyeballing it, I think you're looking at a top 10 shortstop at least. Which probably puts him 5th round?
I was thinking like 3rd or 4th.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that, like, would you rather have him or CJ Abrams?
That is really, really close. I think
Abrams,
but it's, yeah, I think they'll probably go right next to each other.
Abrams is probably going to end up with a better season than last year. And I think the skill indicators are better than they were last year. He's cut his strikeout rate, batting average looks better, power looks a little better as well. I think there's a lot to like there. And he was right around 50 in ADP last season. So I think that's probably right around where he goes. You take him over O'Neal Cruz, I think. But then everyone else who went above him last year, or everyone else in the top 10 last year, probably remains there. So I think 4-5 turn for Zack Neto, just eyeballing it.
Yeah, that might sound, that sounds pretty good to me. Edward Cabrera bounced back with one of his best starts of the season, this time against the Braves. 7 shutout, 1 hit, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts, had 14 whiffs on 100 pitches. His 3rd start with double-digit strikeouts, and a nice bounce back after allowing 9 earned runs in his previous 2 before this one. Really, really interesting name in Edward Cabrera. I mean, it might be easier to talk about from, like, what SP range does he go?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like maybe 25 to 30. Is that too low? Maybe he's a low-end SP2, like 20 to 25?
I was thinking in terms of comps, Hunter Brown last season. Now, Hunter Brown has obviously blown away his ADP, but he was SP28 in ADP last season. Very similar skill sets. Good, but not necessarily elite strikeout rates.
Probably around pick 100, right? Something like that?
Yeah, right at 99. So I think that's probably he's got to finish it off. But I think the Hunter Brown comp makes a lot of sense. Similar turnaround time frame. Brown didn't have quite the history of being bad that Edward Cabrera did.
Well, let's not forget the first 2 months of last season.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. He was, but Cabrera's been bad for years.
Right.
You know.
And hurt.
And so I think That's not where I thought it was going to go when I first thought about it. But yeah, I think right around 100, SP 30-ish makes sense for Edward Cabrera right now. He's got to finish it off.
Yep. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, went boom once again. 50 home runs now on the season. 3 homers in his past 2 games. What do you think? What round for Cal Raleigh next year?
Second. I don't think it can be first.
Somebody might do it.
But yeah, maybe it should be. I don't know.
It's just such a clear outlier, right?
Yeah.
But it's just...
Well, but here's the thing. Cal Raleigh has 50 homers and 14 steals.
Crazy. That's crazy.
He's on pace to finish with 60. Take 20 homers off. And you're still talking about a 40 homer, 10 steal catcher. That's a second round pick, right?
At least second. I mean, what I'm wrestling with in my mind is
it first?
Will there be one person in every draft that thinks Cal Raleigh is a first round pick? There might. You muted yourself.
Yeah, there might be. It probably won't be me. I mean, you look at... It's so hard to make the comp because Salvador Perez was 31 when he had that 48 homer season, and Cal Raleigh's going to be 29 next year. Very different workload situations over the years. Although then you have to keep in mind, as good as Salvador Perez was in 2021, remember, he was even better in 2020. It was just that shortened season. Mm-hmm. So we got a glimpse of that. I'm going to say second round.
I think so.
There's enough power speed guys to fill up the first 2 rounds. First round in a 15-team league is probably fine.
Shay Langeliers, he hit a 450-foot grand slam off of Tarek Skubal. Are you kidding me? That now makes 11 home runs in August, 18 since the start of July. Has 29 home runs overall on the season, 5 steals, 852 OPS. I am dubbing him the mini dumper, Shay Langeliers. What do you think about him? Where might he wind up in drafts next season?
Yeah, I mean, he's basically having Cal Raleigh's season from last year and the year before, except...
That's a good comp. Yeah, where did Raleigh go entering this year?
85. Langeliers has a better batting average, but much lower RBI. Remember, Cal Raleigh was coming off on his own right a 100 RBI season in 2024. So I would think... maybe the number 3 or 4 catcher. I mean, maybe number 2. And there's just a huge gap between number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, it could be like a 6th or 7th round pick. Something.
Yeah, that's. I think that's where the problem is. If catcher really is as deep as we think it is, do we also take a little bit of the inflation out?
Just push it all down a little bit?
Well, yeah, because coming into the season, you had William Contreras at 25, Yainer Diaz 60, Adley Rutschman 61, Wilson Contreras 73, Salvador Perez 74, Cal Raleigh 86. First of all, 5 people made a mistake. But second, like, if we think there are 15 legitimate, I would say 15 catchers who matter for fantasy, even if you don't need to start a catcher, which might be the case. Do those 15 all go in the top 170 in a 2-catcher league or 150, but we don't need to push guys into the 6th, 5th round? That might be the case. I think right now I'm leaning like number 3 catcher off the board, probably behind Cal Raleigh and Will Smith, who's just been remarkable and might win the batting title. And probably in like the 6th, 7th round range.
Yeah, I think in 2-catcher leagues, he'll probably still go around there. In 1-catcher leagues, maybe it gets pushed down a little bit. Maybe it's more like a 9th or 10th round pick, something like that for Shay Langeliers. Roman Anthony, we spoke about this last week. He hit another home run, 107.2 exit velocity, 410 feet, has 4 homers in his past 13 games. I think where we settled last week was like 3rd or 4th round, I think, for Roman Anthony. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is all the young outfielders that we got so excited about last year, Jackson Churio, Jackson Merrill, a little lower down, Wyatt Langford, James Wood, even Lawrence Butler, who was 5'6" turn, they all steal bases. And Roman Anthony doesn't really have that skill. What's he got, like 4?
He has 4, yeah.
Yeah. And he only had 3 in the minors. He had 21 last year, but with only 7 in, 120 games so far, I think you can, not expect him to be much of a base stealer, maybe a 10 steal guy. So he really does have to be a very, very good hitter. But then you compare him to Jackson Chourio, Jackson Merrill, all those dudes. Roman Anthony might be the most talented hitter of that group, or at least
it's a different player. It's a different skill set.
Yeah. So I think 3-4 turn probably makes the most sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, instead of with some of those guys we were looking at, 20-20 or 25-25 projections, maybe Roman Anthony's more like a 30 home run hitter with 15 steals, but also comes with like a 300 batting average, I think that's within the range of outcomes for him.
I think what you're hoping for is like what you were expecting from Brenton Doyle coming into the season, except much better pedigree, much less concern about how real that breakout was last season for him. And he'll be outfield eligible. Brent Rooker wasn't outfield eligible to open the season.
Mm-hmm. And last name here, Spencer Strider. That's, of course, one of the easiest names to talk about right now. He bounced back with a quality start at the Marlins. 7 innings, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, had 10 whiffs on 95 pitches. Still allowed a lot of hard contact. He did move away from the fastball. I thought that was a good idea here for Spencer Strider. It's a nice result, but
3 strikeouts.
Some of the underlying stuff here still not looking great. I mean, what do you think about this start and where Strider could wind up next year?
Eyeballing last year's rankings, I think right around 36 makes sense. Sandy Alcantara was SP 36 in ADP before the season. Okay. Jack Flaherty was in that range. Carlos Rodon was in that range. Kodai Senga was in that range. A lot of guys, like different ways, but very different questions. But I think that's probably the right balance of upside and what we're currently seeing as the downside. I hope another year, another full offseason, a normal offseason can do him good, and he comes back and he's averaging, 96, 97 rather than 95, 96 next spring. But yeah, I don't have a lot of, I can't say I have any confidence in it. It's just, what if he does figure it out? Like, who a good comp for him might be is Robbie Ray coming into last season. And that's one that worked out really well. So that's, and he was SP 35 in ADP.